Now, now we are on the river boat going to our destination, which is the temple of Ramesses II in Abu Simbel. Abu Simbel is the little town or village called Abu Simbel. Now, after the scene, as you can see, some of the top of the houses are excuse me, are being covered by the waters of the rising waters of the dam. And this is our riverboat. I went for a nap, and about an hour later they woke me up and they said, come outside and have a look. I grabbed my camera and went outside, and I had the first glimpse of the temple of Ramesses II and Nefertari, his #1 wife. Now these are some tourists enjoying the sun of Egypt, not a cloud in the sky. We are south of Aswan now, upstream. We met a lot of tourists who did not want to drink the water except boiled water, but I jumped in the River Nile and had a drink of water. This is the temple. This is what I saw. On the right hand side is the temple of Nefertari. In the middle is this is the temple of Nefertari, the wife of Ramesses II. And on the left one is the huge temple of Ramesses II, the greatest pharaoh, almost the greatest pharaoh Egypt has ever had. A great conqueror, a great pharaoh. And if you notice, the #2 statue is broken. But before I tell you that story, here the river is 3/4 of a mile wide. It is amazing how big it is. It's about 1.4 kilometers wide. Now the temple, the statue, #2 statue on the left, the second statue, is broken down, and the headgear and the crown is on the foot of the statue. Well, when they shifted all this hill on top of the existing hill to save it from the floods of the water, they left the top of the crown exactly where it was found. Now, as you can see, now you will see a yellow tent, because we camped there for 3 nights. That's the tent. And this is the construction equipment already was coming. As I said, this is February 1964, before they shifted the temple. After that, we took the riverboat again back to Aswan, and that riverboat came from the Sudan. After we filled the petrol, the car with petrol, and checked everything, we didn't shave for a long time, so our beards were growing, and we went to the temple of Komombo. The Komombo temple is not as old. It's only 2,300 years old, and it's built by Roman or Ptolemaic kings and pharaoh, the ones who were ruling Egypt, like Cleopatra's mob. Here we found a lot of two rooms with mummified crocodiles and a mummy, and we took some souvenirs. Now this is the single crown of the pharaoh, and you will see now the double crown of the pharaoh. That round thing again is the cartouche with the name of the pharaoh carved into the wall. Very soon you will see the double crown, and the double crown was implemented by King Mina or Menes or Narmer about 6,000 years ago, and the capital city was then Memphis in Lower Egypt, near Cairo, one of the first capital cities in the history of mankind, actually. And now this is part of that temple again, and very soon we are going to go to a village before we cross the eastern desert to the Red Sea. This is from a well that it still has water in it, in the same temple, and there you will see the double crown I was talking about of Upper and Lower Egypt. There it is in the center of the screen. Now we are here, very hot, and we are going now to go to a village scene and see the market in a place called Tel El Amarna. Tel means the mold of Amarna, a mound actually, and was the new capital city that the pharaoh Akhenaton changed from Thebes to here because he started worshipping one god, monotheism, about 1500 BC, or a bit more than that, 2000 BC. He worshipped one god. He called it Aton, and that's a branch of the river Nile. Tel El Amarna, the capital city, is beyond that. Now this is the market, and I won't say anything. Enjoy. This is how it's done in any slaughterhouse. And notice the knife in the mouth of the butcher. Well, after this scene, from the dead to the living, this is a baby goat. Hasn't been eaten yet. but it will be soon. Now after this scene, this is a shadoof. A shadoof is one of the oldest ways of moving water from a lower ground to a higher ground. In the farmers use this. It's a very simple procedure, as you can see. And the ancient Egyptians also had the vice to bring water from the in a spiral way. It was spiral inside, and the lower part was in the water and the upper part in the upper ground, and you used to bring the water from lower ground to upper. And unfortunately, or fortunately, by mistake, they called it vis d'Archimed, Archimedes vice, but it's not Archimedes at all. Now a bit of city life in Cairo, so-called civilization. As you can see, I'm drinking from the river Nile, which is very clean in the middle of the river. On the sides of the river is different. This movie was taken about in 1962, and you will see the Tower of Cairo very soon. This is a hired boat called the Felucca on the river Nile. One of the branches of the river Nile, because the river Nile branches off in Cairo into two main branches, the Rosetta and the Damietta. Rashid and Damyat. And in Arabic they say Nahr al-Nil, Masr hibat al-Nil, which means Egypt is the gift of the river Nile. Without river Nile, there's no Egypt, because it doesn't rain. Finally, we are relaxing. We know how to enjoy life in Egypt. Men enjoy their lives with wine, women, and song and hashish. It's a common pastime. This is the alley of the lovers, Lovers Lane it was called. And you will see now the Tower of Cairo, and then the botanical garden with some beautiful plants. I think hibiscus. This is an hibiscus, and somewhere there's a bougainvillea, another hibiscus. Botanical garden in Cairo. The botanical garden, or the gardens, are irrigated by the pump that comes from the river Nile. Not drinkable water, just the river Nile water. That's the Tower of Cairo. On the right you have date trees, and as I said, it had a revolving restaurant on top, and we used to go with the elevator and have dinner there and listen to the music, enjoy life. This is a little island in between the two main branches of the river Nile. As I said, Rosetta and Damietta. One goes to Port Said, the other to Alexandria, near Alexandria. Now this is the palace of the King Farouk, and this is a restaurant over the river Nile, and it happens to be called the Shagara, which means the tree, because they built the tree, the restaurant around the tree. They didn't cut the tree down. This is 1961, 62, by the way. And it's winter, but the sun is shining. That's how winter is in Cairo. Very cold, about 10 degrees, or it goes down to maybe 4 sometimes. And then we are having the beer called Stella beer, and we watch the beautiful sunsets. Good day. See you later. Bye. Arrivederci. مع السلامة.
حبيبي يا نور العين يا ساكن خيالي، حبيبي يا نور العين يا ساكن خيالي، عاشق بقالي سنين ولا غيرك في بالي. حبيبي يا نور العين يا ساكن خيالي، عاشق بقالي سنين ولا غيرك في بالي. حبيبي يا نور العين يا ساكن خيالي، عاشق بقالي سنين ولا غيرك في بالي. حبيبي 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 يا نور العين، حبيبي 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 يا نور العين، حبيبي 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 يا نور العين، حبيبي 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 يا نور العين يا ساكن خيالي. أجمل عيون في الكون أنا شفتها، الله عليك الله على سحرها. أجمل عيون في الكون أنا شفتها، الله عليك الله على سحرها. عيونك معايا عيونك كفاية،